The race that stops America. Every year, in the heart of America, thousands gather for a race that lasts only 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes carry more than speed. They carry money, tradition, and dreams. This is not just a sporting event. This is not just a horse race. This is the Kentucky Derby, one of America's most famous traditions. For more than a century, this race has captured the attention of millions. It is known as the Run for the Roses because the winner receives red roses. But behind the flowers, fashion, and cheering crowd, there is a deeper story. A story about power, wealth, risk, and one impossible moment. The Kentucky Derby is held every year in Louisville, Kentucky. The race takes place at Churchill Downs, one of America's most famous racetracks. It is usually held on the first Saturday of May every year. The race is for 3-year-old thoroughbred horses. The distance is 1.25 miles, but the race feels much bigger. To most viewers, it looks simple. The gate opens, the horses run, and one wins. But behind that simple race is a huge industry built on speed and money. These horses are not ordinary horses. They are elite athletes. They are trained for months and sometimes for years before race day. Their bloodlines are studied, their diet is controlled, and their bodies are monitored. Their workouts are timed and their behavior is observed every single day. A Kentucky Derby horse is not just a racehorse. It is an investment. Some horses are worth millions before they even step onto the Derby track. The Kentucky Derby is also the first race in the American Triple Crown. The Triple Crown includes the Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. Winning all three is one of the hardest achievements in horse racing. But the first step is always the Kentucky Derby. That is why this race matters so much to owners, trainers, and jockeys. It is where dreams begin. And for many horses, it is where dreams end. The Kentucky Derby is called the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Why? Because the actual race is very short, usually around 2 minutes. But in those 2 minutes, everything can change forever. Years of training, millions of dollars, and a trainer's reputation are at stake.
A jockey's career and an owner's dream can depend on one race.
Imagine preparing for years, waking up before sunrise every day.
Imagine training your horse carefully and choosing the perfect jockey.
Imagine planning every detail only to depend on luck, timing, and courage. A horse can start badly, or a jockey can get trapped behind other horses. The track can be wet, the crowd can be loud, and another horse can block the path.
One wrong move can destroy years of planning in just a few seconds.
That is what makes the Kentucky Derby so dramatic and unpredictable. The fastest horse does not always win. The most expensive horse does not always win. Even the favorite does not always win the Kentucky Derby. Sometimes the winner is the horse that waits for the perfect moment. Sometimes it is the horse that survives the chaos and finds space at the end. And when that horse crosses the finish line first, history is made. The Kentucky Derby began in 1875, making it more than 150 years old. It has survived wars, economic crashes, political changes, and cultural shifts. America has changed many times, but the Kentucky Derby stayed alive. Over time, it became more than a sporting event. It became a tradition. The race was inspired by European horse racing traditions. In the 1800s, horse racing was popular among wealthy families. It was connected to land, breeding, status, and money. Kentucky became perfect for horse racing because of its horse breeding culture. The land, farms, and tradition made Kentucky the center of thoroughbred racing. Over time, the Kentucky Derby became bigger and bigger. It was no longer just a race for horse owners. It became a national event. People traveled from across the country to watch the race. Newspapers covered it, radio broadcast it, and television made it famous. Now social media turns every dramatic Derby moment into a viral story. When people search who won the Kentucky Derby, they are not just asking for a result. They are entering a story that has been building for more than 150 years. Money, pressure, and history.
The Kentucky Derby is famous not only for horses but also for its culture.
Fashion is a major part of the event, especially the famous derby hats. Women wear large, colorful hats while men wear suits, bow ties, and bright colors. For many people, the derby feels like sport, fashion, festival, and social event. Celebrities, business leaders, wealthy families, tourists, and fans all attend. Millions of people also watch the Kentucky Derby from home. There is music, food, drinks, tradition, and one powerful symbol, the rose. The winning horse receives a blanket made of red roses after the race. That is why the Kentucky Derby is called the Run for the Roses.
But this beautiful image hides the serious reality behind the glamour.
The horses must perform, the jockeys must take risks, and trainers must be perfect.
The owners hope their investment becomes legendary in just 2 minutes.
The Kentucky Derby is also deeply connected to money and betting. Before the race begins, people study the horses, odds, trainers, and jockeys. Then they place their bets, hoping to predict the winner. Some people bet for fun, some bet seriously, some win big, and most lose. The odds tell a story before the race even starts. A favorite has low odds because many people believe it can win. A long shot has high odds because most people think it is unlikely to win. But the Kentucky Derby is famous for surprises and unexpected winners. Sometimes a long shot wins, and when that happens, the payout can be huge. This is part of the Derby's magic. People believe anything can happen. A favorite can fail, an outsider can rise, and the betting world can flip. But Derby money is not only about betting. It is also about breeding.
It is about sponsorships, media rights, tours, luxury tickets, and horse sales.
A Kentucky Derby winner can become extremely valuable after the race.
Not only because of prize money but also because of breeding potential. In horse racing, bloodline is business and winners can create future winners.
That future can be worth millions of dollars. So why does the Kentucky Derby matter so much? Why do millions care about a race that lasts only around 2 minutes? The answer is simple. The Derby is not just about speed, it is about story. Every horse has a path, and every trainer has a struggle. Every jockey has a dream, every owner has hope, and every fan wants magic.
The Derby connects past and present through sport, culture, money, and emotion.
For some people, it is entertainment. For others, it is business. For others, it is family tradition. For racing people, it is a lifetime dream. And for the winner, it is immortality. The Kentucky Derby lasts only 2 minutes, but those minutes take years to build. Years of work, hope, risk, sacrifice, pressure, and belief. Every May, America watches the gate open and the world holds its breath. This is the Kentucky Derby, America's most famous horse race. And it is much more than just a race. Subscribe to Mystery Decode for more hidden stories behind world events.